My name is Tom Vermeiren. I'm a management consultant in the fields of port strategy and corporate finance. And today I will present to you my academic research project, which I just completed at the Vrije University of Brussels under the supervision of my promoter, Professor Cathy Macharis. In this video, I will present the main findings of my research project, which I named Intermodal Transport, the Delta in the Delta. And why I have chosen this catchy title should become clear to you after this presentation. For ease, I've split the presentation into 3 videos, and in this first video, I will elaborate on the research objectives and its particular scope. The topic of my research project is intermodal transport. So let's start by drawing an intermodal land transportation system connecting a port with a point in the hinterland. As the majority of containers are exchanged by the port and the hinterland by unimodal truck, it has been a tradition for research in intermodal transport to investigate how we can move freight from truck to other modes, such as barge, rail, or eventually short sea. Maybe I will disappoint some of you, but this is not the topic that I will be addressing. Actually, I've taken another approach. Assume that we have computer screens which are manufactured in China. They need to be transported from the manufacturing site to the port. But a similar system exists at the other side of the ocean, where they are imported and moved to the hinterland. And in between, we have the maritime transport system connecting the 2 ports. This is what we call the door-to-door view, covering the total system from where the container is stuffed up to where it is stripped. It includes land transportation systems, the maritime transport system, and the ports. As you can see, the ports are embedded in the ocean and land transportation systems, and they play an important role by gluing them all together. With the globalization of our economy, port economists started to recognize that the performance of their port became a function of the performance of the total global transport belt, meaning that you can develop a state-of-the-art port system with the very best nautical conditions and the most productive gantry cranes, but it will never work if the other parts in the chain are not that strong. We can also apply this chain thinking to intermodal transport on the land side and question what is the role of intermodal land transport in the total chain. Does it strengthen the chain or does it rather weaken the chain? And also, how do the other systems, port and maritime transport chain, impact the performance of the total? These are important questions that I have addressed in my research. Let's now place the door-to-door chain against the background of the Rhine-Scheldt delta. In this particular case, there is not one port, but there are multiple port options. Actually, we have Rotterdam in the Netherlands and Antwerp in Belgium. Both ports have become very big container ports in Europe, although they are different kinds of animals. Rotterdam is a coastal port built into the sea, as you can see at the top. And Antwerp is what we call an upstream river port, located much more inland. Given this situation of 2 main ports nearby, we end up with a situation of competing intermodal systems, which are doing exactly the same thing, bringing the container from origin to destination, but they are using different logistic pathways. And in my research, I will also focus on the medium and long distance ranges in the hinterland, as barge and rail typically have a distinct cost advantage there against the unimodal truck. Having defined the scope of my research being door-to-door view, and this against the transport geography of the Rhine-Scheldt Delta with Europe's two biggest container ports, Antwerp and Rotterdam, we can now proceed by comparing the two systems which do exactly the same thing. I will start the analysis with the comparison of the alternative port-to-port systems on maritime chains.